right, so as you go about our episodes, a lot of times the questions we get are around, hey, what did you buy that card for? Why did you grade it? What did the grade come back as? And we thought it would be good to every so often touch base and tell you about a couple cards that came back from the grading company that we send to. We usually send to SGC, sometimes we will send to PSA, but we're gonna walk through a few cards from episode 1 that came back from SGC, and so you could understand our thought process when we bought the card and also when we received the card back. Okay, so I'm gonna walk through 3 very popular cards from that episode, and we'll talk through purchase price and everything else that went along with it. So I'm gonna start by telling you about probably my favorite card from episode 1, and that was the 1998-99 Skybox Metal Michael Jordan. It's the card we found from Johnny. It was the card I saw in the pictures from the phone, and I knew I had to have that card. And from the pictures, it already looked like it was in pretty good condition. And a card like that in raw form is probably around $800 or $900. We knew we could get a good deal on it raw, but when you grade it, it really starts to extract value out of it, especially a high grade. I was hoping for a 9.5, dreaming for an SGC 10. We sent it in and we ended up getting an SGC 9. Now, we paid $30 to get that card graded. We knew we could have sold it raw for $800. We ended up selling it for $1,300 in an SGC 9 form. We probably could have waited a little bit to sell it, better economic conditions, but we decided to go ahead and sell it at $1,300. It was a good price, and I wasn't super attached to keeping that specific card in my personal collection. The second card was a card we found out of an antique store. It was the 1934 Batter Up Dizzy Dean. Now I bought 3 Batter Up cards and I knew I was gonna grade all of them. All 3 of them looked like they were gonna be anywhere from 3 to 5. And when you get way back into ultra vintage, like 1930s, if you can get anything above a 3 with SGC or PSA, you're sitting on, high quality cards. I was hoping that that specific card would come back in SGC 5. Unfortunately, that card came back in SGC 3.5. We were all in for that card at $275. It was stickered at $340. We negotiated down to $275, and we were able to still turn that $30 grading investment into a sales price of $580. So again, one of those cards I wasn't gonna keep my personal collection. I knew the only way to really add a value to the price we paid was to grade it. SGC graded 3.5. We added about $200 in value to it. The last card I wanna mention from episode 1 was the 97-98 Topps Chrome Refractor Tim Duncan. It was the Destiny, it's his rookie. You see a lot of Tim Duncan rookies out there when you're looking at collections, no doubt about it, but to find refractors is really hard to do. We found it in the same collection as the Jordan, Johnny's collection. And when you see a refractor, you look at the shine, you look at the edges, and is it centered? But ultimately it comes down to surface. If you look at the surface and you kind of move it around and you can see the reflection, it looks pretty clean, then it's probably a card you're gonna grade. And I saw that Tim Duncan at first and I knew immediately that was a card going to get graded. I thought it had a legitimate shot at gem minting, which is a 10. Unfortunately, that card came back in SGC 9.5, so we just barely swung and missed on the Tim Duncan rookie. It's a card I considered keeping in my personal collection. I actually grew up collecting David Robinson and I love the Spurs, but I had the non-refractor version of that card already graded in my collection and decided to sell the card. So we ended up paying $110 for that card. We added $30 for the grading, and I sold that SGC 9.5 for $280. So again, a pretty good investment. The whole Johnny collection in general was just outstanding, but grading that and basically increasing the value by 150% was well worth it with SGC. And then a pleasant surprise that came out of Mark's collection, and there's lots more to come out of Mark's collection. It's one of those that was just so grand. It's just taken months to sort through and find the good stuff. I pulled a Drew Brees rookie, so a standard Topps rookie. I pulled it out of a box. It was unsleeved. I pulled it out, I looked at it thinking, how in the world did this survive the travel 2,000 miles across the country in this box without a sleeve or a top loader and remain in this good of condition? I sent it into SGC and it came back in SGC 10. So one of those rare times the card survives all the moving, all the shaking, and the condition still looks outstanding. Send it in, that card is gonna remain in my personal collection. Drew Brees rookie and an SGC 10 gem mint format is gonna be highly sought after for years to come. Really excited to add that one to my collection. So all in all, from season 1, we've had some pretty good wins. Over the next few months, we'll talk through some other things that we've learned as we grade. And hopefully you can then start to take the lessons we're learning and apply them to the way that you're collecting and add value to your cards as well.